Good afternoon. This is World at Noon. I am Sahid Arubisala. The Forum of Retired Permanent Secretaries in Ondo State has advocated the creation of public service desk and budget in the office of the head of service to promote efficient service delivery in government operations. President of the Forum, Fuyi Bajoa, said the group, which visited Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa in Akure, is committed to partnering the state government towards promoting and sustaining impactful governance. Governor's correspondent, Wahab Bankole, reports that Governor Aiyedatiwa also had an audience, Auctioneers Association of Nigeria, in the state. The report is presented from Osrc.
Towards improving the living standard of the people while advancing every sector of the state's economy, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa played host to the Forum of Retired Permanent Secretaries and Auctioneers Association of Nigeria in the state. The first to meet minds with the governor on how to further develop the state was a Forum of Retired Permanent Secretaries led by its president, Fuyi Bajoa. The group advocated the creation of public service desk and budget in the office of the head of service to promote efficiency in government operations.
Your Excellency, we want to express our gratitude to your administration for raising the pensions of some of our old members with their situation.
The group commiserated with Governor Aiyedatiwa over the passing of his former boss and also congratulated him on his elevation while pledging their support for his administration. Governor Aiyedatiwa thanked the senior citizens for their visit with the promise that their challenges will be addressed. The governor said efforts are in top gear to enlist them into the contributory health insurance scheme.
I made that promise on my honor to complete all the good works that he started that he was unable to complete before his demise. To even start those ones that I envisioned that I'm aware of that will bring development to the state. We will start those ones as well and complete them. So thank you very much for all your support and your prayers.
Meanwhile, the Auctioneers Association of Nigeria in the state has assured Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of its readiness to contribute to the economic growth of the state through the Waste to Wealth initiative. The group was led to the governor's office in Akure by its state chairman, Mr. Adedonyoni.
We are always ready to partner the government in turning waste to wealth and generate revenue to the government and avert capital flights. We shall request the government to enlist our association in the protocol list. Sir, our association pledge our 100% loyalty to your government.
Governor Aiyedatiwa, who thanked them for the visit, expressed a short write-up on waste, running the affairs in the face of global economic meltdown. Towards improving the living standard of the people while advancing every sector of the state's economy, Ondo State Government.
President Bola Tinubu says his administration is working to ensure that Nigeria reform for greater efficiency, with a particular emphasis on systematically inculcating fairness and equity in all aspects of the national life. The president, while addressing Afenifere leaders at the residence of Pariben Fashion in Akure, Ondo State, also emphasized his commitment to leading Nigeria towards economic and social prosperity. President Tinubu acknowledged the understanding and support of all Nigerians in the face of the tough but temporary economic conditions, assured them that their patience and perseverance will not be fruitless. The federal government has assured Nigerians that the current administration will restructure the country as promised earlier, but noted that a good foundation must be laid. The President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, gave the assurance during a visit to the national leader of the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere Pariben Fashion in Akure, Ondo State capital. The President said the structure he is trying to put in place in Nigeria economically, socially, and politically would be such that it would bring Nigeria back to where it is supposed to be. President Tinubu appreciated Nigerians for their understanding, noted that very soon Nigeria would overcome its challenges. He added that the kind of policies government is implementing will bring positive solutions to the challenges. President Bola Tinubu will. The Association of Table Water Producers has urged the federal government to establish a special water program which would serve as a palliative measure to cushion the impact of the fuel subsidy removal on the pure water business should be provided for its members at a single-digit increase. In a statement, the association president, Mrs. Clementina Ative, said the fund would reduce the unbearable high cost of production, lamenting that Nigerians in the water industry were struggling to survive. The Military Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Adarin-Daji says it has neutralized bandits and rescued 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara State. The information officer of Operation Adarin-Daji, Lieutenant Colonel Suleiman Omali, said this in a statement in Gusau. Omali said the troops engaged the terrorists with a heavy gun drill, which, due to superior fighting power, the bad elements fled in disarray and abandoned their captors. The gallant troops reportedly neutralized scores of the terrorists, destroyed the terrorist enclaves, and dominated the area with aggressive and confidence-building patrol within the general area. They said all the rescued victims were handed over to the appropriate authorities to reunite them with their respective families. The commander of the Joint Task Force, Major General Godwin Mutkut, who is also the General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army, commended the efforts of the troops for their continued doggedness and resilience in an effort to restore normalcy in the northwest. The war against illegal oil bunkering and oil theft has received a huge boost as troops of the 6th Division Army, Port Harcourt, uncovered over 40 crude oil wells in Rumwepe community, a more local government area of River State. The troops uncovered the site during a sweep and clear operation on the Trans-Niger Delta pipeline. The operation was led by the General Officer Commanding 6th Division, Major General Jamal Abdusalam. Speaking to journalists after the operation, Abdusalam said the oil wells, which were about 40 feet deep, were the latest technique employed by criminals in stealing crude oil from underground. The General Officer Commanding described the discovery as an eye-opener for the Army in the war against oil thefts in the Niger Delta region. He explained that the miscreants had invented a technique of digging deep into the ground until they reached the crude oil deposits. To the foreign scene now, the UN's peacekeeping mission, MONUSCO, is withdrawing from the Democratic Republic of Congo after a quarter-century, raising concerns about how the government will manage the over 100 armed groups still operating in the country. Kemisal Aljamo has details.
One of the longest-serving UN peacekeeping missions, called MONUSCO, is leaving Democratic Republic of Congo by the end of the year. MONUSCO personnel have been here for 25 years with a mandate to help the Congolese government fight armed groups and keep civilians safe. The peacekeepers handed over one of the 14 bases to the National Police in South Kivu province.
I am confident in the ability of the Congolese Defense and Security Forces to face the challenges with determination and professionalism.
The MONUSCO mission have become unpopular among Congolese. They say the peacekeepers have not done their job. The frustration has often led to violent protests against the United Nations. The Congolese government eventually told them to leave. Many of them are living in camps like this. 1.6 million have recently fled from the ongoing fighting between government forces and the M23 armed group in North Kivu province.
The government of
DRC has to take responsibility of the security situation. Visiting troops cannot do a better job than our forces. DRC belongs to Congolese, and the leadership should step up its role.
MONUSCO says it has done its best under incredibly difficult circumstances. Kemisola Jomo, Osrc News.
Mitch McConnell, the Senate minority leader, has announced his resignation, marking a significant shift in the Republican Party. This move is seen as a reflection of the growing influence of former President Donald Trump within the party. McConnell has been a prominent figure in the Senate for over 3 decades and has been a vocal critic of Trump's action and rhetoric. However, with Trump still maintaining a stronghold over the party, McConnell's decision to step down as a minority leader has been seen as a sign of the changing dynamics. Osrc has details.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
It is arguably the moment that finally losing Mitch McConnell's grip on power. Struggling after a fall for the second time in just a few months, he frozen in front of an audience. The critics were brutal. McConnell will be remembered for the control he exercised for so long and how he reshaped the face of America's Supreme Court for generations. He won his seat in the Senate from his home state of Kentucky in 1984. He was elected the party's leader in the Senate in 2006. In 2014, Republicans took control of the Senate and McConnell became majority leader, a position of significant power and influence. He made the announcement to step down. Surrounded by colleagues, he will continue in the Senate, but he will no longer be the minority leader.
To lead my Republican colleagues has been the highest privilege. But one of life's most underappreciated talents is to know when it's time to move on to life's next chapter.
When conservative Supreme Court Judge Antonin Scalia died in February 2016, he blocked Obama's pick for the post from even getting hearing before that year's presidential election.
The next justice could fundamentally alter the direction of the Supreme Court and have a profound impact on our country.
It was a gamble that paid off when Donald Trump won with McConnell's support. The two quickly worked to fill the courts with Republicans, including 3 Supreme Court seats, changing the face of the judicial system in America. McConnell was in Capitol Hill on January the 6th, 2021, when an angry mob stormed the building. He pushed to have proceedings continue when order was restored, but with Donald Trump facing impeachment for provoking the crowd, McConnell blocked the hearing until after Trump left office, then argued it was wrong to impeach him because he left office. He voted against conviction, but after the vote staggered colleagues by attacking Trump's role in the assault on the Hill. Trump later described McConnell as a solemn, unsmiling political hack. Trump wanted him replaced. Otobot Jim, Osrc News.
A recent ruling in Northern Ireland has caused uncertainty for past offenders as a law granting them amnesty was deemed to be in violation of victims' rights. This decision has left many wondering what the future may hold for those who were previously thought to be protected. There's more in this next report.
Here to find out if they would be able to fight on, families and victims of Northern Ireland's violent past, hoping that a controversial new law on how those crimes would be addressed would be struck down. Nearly 4,000 people were killed in decades of violence under the Troubles Act. An independent commission would replace prosecution's inquest and civil cases in examining past crimes. Crucially, it would have the power to grant amnesty to perpetrators who came forward and cooperated.
We welcome the findings from the court today, particularly in respect of the immunity from prosecution.
At the High Court on Wednesday, the judge ruled that would breach victims' human rights under European law, preventing the possibility of their getting justice. He also struck down a ban on people pursuing cases in the civil courts.
We have failed victims for successive decades in Northern Ireland who have been fighting for the truth and justice to which they are entitled. The past remains the present for victims, and it will continue to do so until they get the truth and justice they're entitled to.
One of the cases under consideration was that of Seamus Daylan, killed by Protestant gunmen in 1997. His widow has long alleged there was collusion by British police, but now the act still prevents her from pursuing an inquest into his death.
This time last year I had an inquest in front of me. I was pretty sure of my inquest. This time today I don't think I'll have an inquest, but I continue to fight on. I continue to fight on till I get what I want. That's truth and justice.
The British government says it remains committed to a law it defends as promoting truth-telling and reconciliation. Its critics allege it was set up to protect former members of Britain's army and security services from prosecution. The government says it will take time to study the judgment, which could well end up in further appeals.
Thailand has announced that it will ban the recreational use of marijuana by the end of this year, but continue allowing its use for medical purposes. The Health Minister, Cholan Surikawa, while referring specifically to recreational use, said without the law to regulate cannabis, it will be misused. Thailand became the first country in Southeast Asia to decriminalize cannabis, initially for medicinal use in 2021. Then for recreational use in 2022. The move has spawned an industry projected to be worth up to $1.2 billion by next year, as tens of thousands of cannabis shops spring up, along with marijuana-themed spas, restaurants and festivals. Critics say piecemeal rules were rushed out and adopted within a week of decriminalization. According to reports, the aftermath of Israel's recent Gaza war has led to a rise in settler attacks in the West Bank. These attacks have involved the demolition of homes, evictions and expansion of settlements. The escalation of violence is causing concern among human rights groups who are calling for international action to protect the Palestinian population. James Alaujan has details.
I had a discussion with my family whether to travel to Egypt or stay with them, but all of them said I had to go. We saw whole buildings and houses taken down by airstrikes randomly. My father told me that there is a possibility that we could all be killed and that I had to leave so that at least one person from the family survives. I left on October 10th. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was looking for a driver who could agree to take me from Gaza City to Rafah because the road was very dangerous. I called all the drivers. Everyone apologized or didn't pick up their phones. At the end, I found one who took me. On my way, I saw that all the buildings were destroyed, and it was only the third day. People were walking on the streets, leaving their homes, not knowing where to go. I arrived at the crossing, entered and got my passport stamped at around 5 p.m. 5 to 10 minutes after I crossed to the Egyptian side, an airstrike hit the crossing for the first time. The people who were still at the crossing and haven't had their passports stamped returned to Gaza. After that, the crossing closed and it became really difficult.
Sports news now. Sunshine Stars FC defeated Lobby Stars Football Club of Makodi 2-0 at the Ondo State Sports Complex in an elite league fixture to move out of the drop zone. Kennedy Boboye fielded a strong team against the table toppers in search of maximum points following 2 disappointing matches since he assumed duties. Wasau's Bengal Luadano has details.
The home team wasted no time in dictating proceedings on the pitch, with Robert Cole, Osima Gadok and Abdulaziz Ajagbe combining well at the center. A beautiful team play at the edge of the box gave Chidozie Nwondo a chance to score the opener for Sunshine Stars, but was denied when John Lazarus handed the ball goal bound. The center referee wasted no time in pointing at the spot for a penalty kick and issuing John Lazarus a red card. Vincent Timitokwe stepped forward to convert perfectly in the 14th minute to give Sunshine Stars the opener. In the 29th minute, Vincent Timitokwe and Promise Awosomi combined well at the edge before Promise flicked a pass to Chidozie Nwondo, who nets from a solo effort in the 30th minute. Few chances were created in the dying minutes of the match, with no clear-cut chances. The match eventually ended 2-0 in favor of Sunshine Stars. Kennedy Boboye, in his post-match interview, attributed the victory to determination and the incredible support of Timmy home fans. Sunshine Stars' next match comes up on the 3rd of March away from home against Heartland FC of Owerri. With the result, Sunshine Stars garnered 26 points from 22 matches to place 15 on